Okay, in rugby union news, just breaking, Leicester Tigers have been fined for salary cap breaches. Very similar to the Saracens situation, and was actually happening in the same time frame. The salary cap breaches took place between 2016-2017 and the 2019-2020 season, when Saracens had already been punished. Leicester continued with their salary cap breach. They've had two fines. There's a secondary fine attached with a failure to declare payments in a timely fashion for last season, the 2020-2021 season. And this all relates, again, very similar to Saracens, to third-party payments to players that have not been declared for salary cap purposes. Now, you will see players, especially around the Six Nations and the World Cups, do a lot of adverts. Sponsorship arrangements, shaving gel to boots to sports drinks to clothing companies. You will see sports stars in and around major sports tournaments getting contracts for TV ads and internet ads and billboard ads to promote a product. Okay, I've got no issue with that, no issue at all. But they have to be declared. Now, if that is done outside of season time, that's a separate earning for the player. It doesn't affect the club, but it's when it's linked to the club's salary system that there's a problem. So if let's say I don't know who Leicester's main sponsor is, but let's say Leicester, one of their sponsors is Powerade, and one of their players does a Powerade ad for that energy drink, and that third party payment isn't declared by the club under the salary cap rules. It's in breach of the cap. Conflict of interest. Now, the salary cap breaches for Saracens happened in the same time frame, but ended in the 2018-2019 season. They were punished in the 2019-2020 season. Then COVID hits. Now, this seems to be where the salary cap breaches stop for Leicester as well. What is also striking is Saracens are second and Leicester are top. So the two clubs that have been breaching the salary cap and been caught, notice the word caught because I believe other clubs are doing this, are the top two. Now, the difference is Leicester get a fine of $310,000 for the main breaches, and they get a secondary fine of $17,900 for the failure to declare payments in a timely fashion. Saracens got fined and all points deducted and relegated. Leicester get away with just a fine. So that's what annoys me, is there's a lack of consistency in the punishment. Now, I know Leicester were over the cap by less money than Saracens, and they rorted the cap in a lesser way, but still used the same principle of abusing the third-party payment system and not fully declaring the third-party payment system with sponsorship of players and other, maybe even public speaking or whatever they agreed to basically get players' money. They've done the same thing as Saracens, to a lesser degree. But the punishment doesn't fit the crime because the precedent has been set by the Saracens situation a few years ago. And this is where I think I'm more frustrated than anything. They should have copped the same punishment, in my opinion, as Saracens. If you're going to dock points of Saracens, you should dock points of Leicester, in my opinion. Now, Leicester have said they're not going to appeal in any way. They've accepted the findings. But all we get out of this is two fines. No one's lost their job. No one's been suspended from rugby activities. No players have been told to be, they've got to shrink their playing squad or reduce their, change their playing squad. Saracens had to let players go. All it is two fines. So make of that what you will. But again, it's another dark stain on the sport. Now, I'm not naive to think that other clubs aren't doing this. They most likely are. People have said Bristol Bears have got to be in breach with some of the players they've signed in the last couple of seasons. Question marks over Exeter, Harlequins, Northampton Saints, all of them. At some point, I think every club has pushed the boundaries with the salary cap. Maybe been a few £1,000s over. Saracens' case, at one point, they're over $1 million over the salary cap. Now, there needs to be more transparency in third-party payments in the third-party payment system. Either you separate that from the salary cap altogether. So if players want to do an advertising campaign and earn extra revenue, that's separate from the cap altogether, and the individual can do it, and it's all open and it's all on the public record, or you just ban third-party payments. Because this is the second time this has happened, and it happened in the same time frame as Saracens. And there's going to be pushback on the punishment. I don't think the punishment is strong enough. There are going to be fans out there, and those in the media as well, who broke the story on the Saracens scandal by doing some investigative journalism, who are going to say, and rightly so, that the punishment for Leicester is too weak, and there will be those who say the punishment for Saracens was too strong. But there needs to be some balance. Leicester are getting punished, but in my opinion, not punished enough. Because I don't see two small fines in the real scheme of things in the sports world of less than £500,000 in total as a deterrent down the line. Because we know the salary cap will be going up as the years roll by, as there's more money in the game. And that, to me, is not a strong enough deterrent. At the same time, it didn't deter them the season that Saracens were caught. They continued to breach the cap in the 2019-2020 season, even though Saracens were A, under investigation, and B, heavily punished. They continued up till the end of that season to breach the salary cap, and then they decided to stop. And then they got in trouble for failing to declare payments in a timely fashion. So they were still sort of trying to break the cap last season. So clearly the Saracens situation, which came to a head in that 2019-2020 season, even though they had stopped breaching the cap the season before, was not enough of a deterrent for Leicester Tigers. But this punishment is really weak in comparison to the Saracens punishment, which some people felt was too strong, others felt was justified. But I'll leave that to you guys in the comments section to work out if it was justified or not. But what do fans make of this? It just makes a mockery of the system. A second club's been caught in as many years. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more clubs that end up getting punished as the weeks and months and years roll on. There's going to be more historical breaches or active breaches that are discovered by the authorities, but at the same time it also shows real weak governance over the last 6-7 years, that we've had two salary cap breaches happening at the same time, admittedly getting punished at different times, but they were occurring concurrently at the same time. And only now, as the Leicester one in the last season or so, it appears by looking at the time frame, come to light, and they've been punished. Now, how long they've been investigated for, we'll find out. There is more to follow. There's more press briefings to come. But the article I read, I didn't read too much in depth because there's a lot of finance in there. What we know is they were over the cap, they've been caught, and it's to do with third-party payments again. So there need to be better regulation on third-party sponsorships of players and clubs, and club coaches as well. There needs to be more regulation and transparency in the third-party payment system. And that was one of the recommendations that came out of the Saracens scandal, and again, it's happened again. Pretty much. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts below, and I will have some more videos for you soon. And also, if you like the content, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's help grow this channel, because as I say, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, my hair's coming off. I'm shaving my hair, and when I hit 2,000 subscribers, if you follow the channel long enough, and if you're new to the channel, I'm a Blackburn fan when it comes to football. So when I hit 2,000 subs, I have to wear a Burnley shirt for the day and smile while doing it, which is not going to happen, but it will happen. But I'm not going to like wearing that Burnley shirt. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.